Heard of
Sausage?
the UFC fighter.
The sausage?
Sausage.
Welcome to the Serious Yanks channel. I appreciate everybody coming back. And first things first, if you are watching this video, thank you so much. Seriously, I appreciate it. You're a real one because I live on the West Coast here in the US and I have a job. So at the time I'm recording this and editing and dropping it, everybody else and their mom has already posted their reaction video to this squad. So seriously, if you're watching this, you're a real one and I really appreciate you. So that said, we're going to react to the roster. We're going to do what we call on this channel like it, love it, leave it for goalkeepers, defenders, midfielders, and forwards. And I'm interested to see what you guys think. And I do have some questions because I'm not familiar with some of these MLS players. And if you do like the MLS, I do have some questions for you. And we'll get there in a second. But a real quick shout out to Eco Sports for sending me this ball. I just got it in the mail today. They are not sponsoring this video, but they were nice enough to send me one for free. So huge shout out to them. I will link their Instagram in the bio. So yeah, check them out if you get a chance. And let's get into today's video. This should be a pretty short video, and this is going to be the shortest section in the entire video, which is goalkeepers. It's always the easiest one to do because typically there's only 3 goalkeepers. In terms of which is what we always start off with, I like that Matt Turner's here. He's clearly our #1 option. I mean, that's, again, enough said about that. Now, moving on to the love about the goalkeepers, I love that Ethan Horvath is here. I mean, you can call me an Ethan Horvath fanboy. You can call this entire channel an Ethan Horvath tribute channel if you want to. I love Horvath, and I'm so happy to see him back in the mix. And you know what? Name a more unlucky player than Ethan Horvath with his club situations and just everything. Just name a more unlucky player. Now, in terms of leave it, I mean, I've got to leave Drake Callender. I do think there may have been some slightly better options than Drake Callender. I mean, he's about to turn 26, I believe, like next week, or 26, 27 next week. So he's not young. I mean, granted, goalkeepers, you know, we age a little bit more slowly than, you know, a forward or a speedy midfielder would, or a winger. But that said, I mean, you know, I don't know much about the guy, right? Like I mean, I've watched a couple of Messi's games, just like most people. I mean, he looked good. I liked what I saw from him, but I don't know what he looks like on your average, normal, day-to-day MLS game. So if you are an Inter Miami fan, or your team has played against Inter Miami, please let me know in the comments what Drake Callender, how he looked. Are you a fan of Drake Callender? I don't know. I feel like Gaga or even Brady or the FC Cincinnati keeper, I can't think of his name right now, would have been better options to bring here. But maybe I'm wrong. No hate to him. Maybe he deserved it more than the other guys. I don't know. But let me know what you think. And now we'll move on to the next one. All right, so let's move on to the back line, the defenders, right? So in terms of liking, I like that Mark McKenzie's back. I think he deserves it. I think he was a notable snub from the World Cup roster that came out. So I like to see him back here. And I'm actually going to put the roster on the TV if it'll fit. I'll have it on the TV. If not, you're still looking at my face. Sorry about that. And in terms of love about this roster, right? I love that there are some young guys that are getting chances that actually deserve chances, right? Lund, Paredes, I love seeing them here. Although Kevin you could make an argument he's better as a winger. I mean, that's an argument not for this video. But Christopher Lund, I cannot wait to see what he has and what he does. I've yet to see him play for Palermo. And if you know me personally, you know Palermo was the first Italian team that I fell in love with, and I still support them to this day. Although I've yet to see him play. I've watched a couple of their Serie B games, and I haven't seen him on the roster yet, but he's a new addition. But that said, I love the fact that he's here. I mean, we need a backup left back, right? In terms of leave it, and I could get some hate for this, but it's Miles Robinson. Not that there's anything wrong with Miles Robinson, right? He's athletic. I mean, but the thing is, I still think he's peaked. Some people argue that he may end up going to the Bundesliga at some point or something. But I think he's peaked. I think this is who he is at this point. And the reason, my main gripe about it is, and it's going to be a gripe that I know is just not going to happen, and that's John Brooks. I mean, clearly Greg and John Brooks have some very, very personal issues. And I think that's more on Greg than it is on John. But if you got John Brooks and Robinson, I'm taking Brooks any day. I think John Brooks deserves another chance. But that's for me on the outside looking in. The boys on the team may not want him there. Who knows? But that's my leave it for the defenders. But overall, man, what a great back line this is, right? This is not what I'm used to. I'm used to seeing Aaron Long. Ugh. If Lovett could have been Aaron Long not being on the roster, I would have picked that. All right, let's get to the next one. So now we'll move on to the midfield. And we have a huge, widely deep midfield, right? I mean, this is where our talent is. I love our midfield. I think we are pretty set, though. But this is a great opportunity to see some of these guys and just see what they got, right? Some of them we already know. But my like it for the midfield is seeing Benny get a chance, right? I mean, you could argue this is the Messi effect, but he's a dual national. Great prospect, super young. I'm interested to see if he gets any playing time, and I assume he's going to get in the game, even if it's just garbage time. But I am really interested to see how he fits in with this midfield and see if he can play with some of these guys, right? I think it's going to be really cool and really fun to watch. Now, my love it, I'm a huge fan of the Brazilian League, and I'm a Grêmio fan. But Johnny Cardoso, it pains me to see him on the other end, the red team in this rivalry. Pains me to see him on that team, but look, Johnny Cardoso is the real deal. And I think it's only a matter of time before he goes to Europe and steps up from the Brazilian League. Although I think they're ranked 7th, according to some rankings right now in the Brazilian League. But anyway, so I love seeing Johnny on here. Anytime I get a chance to see Johnny play on the national stage, I love it. So that's my love it for this midfield. Now my leave it's got to be Malik Tillman. Again, just because I do have to pick something here. So Malik Tillman, because I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I watch PSV, right? Because I don't watch PSV games. But from what I've read, he's having a hard time getting into the games and getting into the teams. I don't know how true that is. If you are a PSV fan, let me know what's going on with that. Is he just not good enough? Is he not getting into the games? Like, what's going on there? If you're a PSV fan, please let me know. So that's my leave it for the midfield. Now we'll move on to the last part, which is the hardest part to do for a love it, which is the forwards. So the forwards, right? This was our 9, let's just be honest, it's been the weak spot forever, but now it seems like it's not necessarily a weak spot. Now it seems like it's maybe even a strong spot, right? So obviously, my love it is going to be seeing, there's a hint behind me right there. My shout out to my wife's country, Nigeria, for producing our number 9. So obviously, Balogun is my love it. My like it, honestly, it's the whole thing. I like I like all the picks, right? There's no more Areola, there's no more Morris, there's no more Roldan. I mean, this is just, I like everything about this. In terms of leave it, I mean, if I have to make an argument against someone, oh my gosh. It would be between Cade Cowell and Brendan Aronson. I think my leave it just slightly, by this much, would actually be Brendan Aronson. His form has been quite bad for a long time, but on the national stage, he always produces, it seems. He's always like the Energizer Bunny, right? Just like running around. I think Cade Cowell is that type of player too, where he's just endless energy, speed, can change the game. I do worry about Cowell's finishing, though, moving forward, but I've read all these rumors about him going to Serie A, and I hope that happens. I'm a big fan of Serie A, and clearly they seem to be getting some Americans. So we'll see what happens moving forward. But man, this is a great roster. So we have made it to the end of the video, and like I said at the start, if you are watching this video, seriously, you are a real one, and why don't you hit subscribe? I appreciate it. Overall, this roster, I mean, this is about as good as it could be, right? I mean, I would give this like 9.5 out of 10. And the only reason I wouldn't give it a 10 out of 10 is because we're obviously missing some players like Rainier, Cameron Carter-Vickers, but those are all due to injury, right? They're not just Greg making stupid picks like we're used to in the past. This is a great roster, guys, and I think these games are going to be fun, although the only thing I wish we had was more quality opponents that we're playing these friendlies against. That'd be my only, which has nothing to do with the roster obviously, but that's my only complaint about these games. But hey, this is going to be a fun time. I look forward to this. Let me know who your biggest snub was and who you're excited to see. Alright guys, peace and thanks for watching.